Hey everybody, welcome to all the new subscribers. If you're looking for the baby bear, that's my shorts. My short videos are the ones that have baby bear in them. These are my long form videos and I do crafting. Thank you for your interest in my video. I'm so happy that you stopped on it. You've already started to let it run, so you may as well watch at least the first 40 seconds and see whether or not you want to continue watching. And Friday night at 9:30, I'm doing a live Q&A that you can ask whatever questions you want about crafting or my cats or whatever. And if you want to ask any questions, there is a post in my YouTube channel for you to post those questions. And today I'm going to be doing crafting with a Bow Bunny pad that viewers sent to me, and I'm so appreciative of it. It is so beautiful, and it happened to be on the same day I got this little cutting die from Temu that just lines up perfectly with the flowers in this particular little Bow Bunny paper. So I had to put this together. This was the very first one. As soon as I saw that these went together so perfectly, I knew that this was the very first one that I was going to do. So I've lined them up and I'm going to get ready to cut them through with my embossing machine. And I'm going to speed this up to quadruple time. The full video without being edited at all from start to finish for these two greeting cards that I'm making took 1 hour and 12 minutes. So this has been sped up some, and I cut out a lot of the extra stuff where I was just moving things around and looking for things, because every now and then I put something away that I didn't remember where I put it, so I had to go find stuff. But this cutting die is so cool. It makes that form in the paper so that you've got that hexagon form right in the paper, but you also get all the little hexagons. And in this case, it was just a bunch of little flowers that were beautiful. And so I held them off to the side because I'm going to use them for embellishments. This glitter paper pad I got from Ollie's, and it's absolutely stunning. And I'm looking through it to pick out what paper I want to use. So I've picked two that I thought would look good, and I tested it together. And I ended up going with the one that's got more of the blues in it, because the blues went more with the purple than the pinks went with the purple. That's what I thought. But then I also had the idea that I should test it with the card base that I was going to use. And I was going to use a black card base with this one. So I tested the glitter paper, those glitter pages with the card base, and I still liked the blue one better. So I'm going to cut this down to the right size. This is going to be a 5x7 card when I'm done with it. And I had some really cool ideas on how I wanted to embellish it and how I wanted to make it look really cool. So right now, just cutting down all the paperwork. While you're watching me do this, I do want to say thank you so very much for every bit of interaction that you do with my channel, whatever level that is. I appreciate any bit of interaction that I can get, and I do appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I am so humbled by the amount of response that I've gotten from these videos, and I'm just so thankful for everyone who has done this. And here I realized that I have a mistake. I forgot to cut down the other side of the paper, because the one side has a very thin layer of it's only like maybe half an inch, maybe a quarter inch thick, and then the other one was a lot thicker, so I had to cut it down so that it was even on both sides, and so I had to take the tape off and fix that. So that's what I did there. But I am so grateful and so appreciative of everybody who has watched my videos and interacted with my channel. I am so thankful for all of that. I have been doing some research on YouTube as to what's going on with my channel, because for a while it was building and then it got really slow, and then now it's starting to build again. And it's interesting because it turns out that they're using different things that actually watch everything that's going on. And one of the things about my channel is that I'm a faceless channel. I don't show my face on my channel, and that's strictly because I have been the victim of massive amounts of trauma, and the aggressors are still out there, and I don't want to show my face because I don't want them to see me. They might recognize my voice, but you know, other people can have the same voice as me. But if I show my face, it's absolutely definite who I am. So I'm working within the constraints of a faceless channel. And so if you would please show me any engagement that you feel is appropriate and that you have the spoons to do, I would really appreciate that, because I want YouTube to keep pushing my content to more and more people that would be interested in it. So since this was a little bit longer, I cut off that extra piece of glitter and I tried to center it, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I thought, hey, I have this little extra piece of glitter. I'm just going to use that as an embellishment on the side, so to give the card a little bit of asymmetry and to give it some really cool texture and color and flash on it. So I'm putting it on there, and I'm trying to line it up perfectly with the other piece not put down yet, and I finally get it the way I want it to be, and so I go on with that. But yeah, I appreciate anything that you do, the likes, the subscribes, the chats, the conversation, anybody who participates in my lives. Oh, my lives are so much fun. I've got a live coming up on Friday that is unlike most of my lives. Most of my lives are doing crafts, and we do crafts together, and you know, when we're watching it, when the people who are in the guild, the Chatty Crafty guild, are watching with me and making suggestions, if I have those materials in front of me, I will try their suggestions because it's so much fun to craft together that way. We get so many good ideas from each other and we share so many tips and tricks. Like this is a great tip and trick right there. That right there that I'm using to press down with is actually made for polymer clay and made to press down polymer clay. So it's got a lip that goes up on both sides. And if you look at it carefully, you'll see that it's actually kind of a U shape. Stamp down right where you want it to be rather than trying to fuss and fight with one of the little ones. If you don't have a stamping pad, rather than fuss and fight with one of the little ones that may or may not get your fingers in the way when you go to stamp it. Now, I do use the little ones as well. I don't always use the polymer clay press, but I like the polymer clay press for what it does. So you can see that I decided to make this one into a birthday card. And what I'm doing is I'm just giving a little bit of color to the sentiment itself. So it's not this bright flash white of paper on top of the card. And I'm using my favorite corner rounder to round the little corners and just making sure that it looks really good because I really want this to be nice because the sentiment is one of the first things that people look at. So I see a little bit of burble on it, so I cut it off and make it look really good. My Friday live that I said was different from my normal lives, that's going to be a Q&A. It's the first Q&A that I've done on my channel, and I do have a post in my not my Facebook, in my YouTube that is where you can put any questions that you want to ask me because I have my baby bear, who is my ESA cat, and there's all my crafting stuff and things that I found and things that I like and things that I like to use and things like that. So you're welcome to add questions to that. And when the live comes up on Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll go through and answer them. So that's going to be it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to that because I haven't done anything like that before. So I think it's going to be cool. And I tried putting it in the center of the raised part because this does have surface elevation to it because I used 1mm foam tape to put that down. And I really didn't like it after I looked at it on there. I really didn't like it in the center of the elevated part. I wanted to have it more to the side of the elevated part. So you'll see me push it over to the side before I actually push it down and adhere it. That big roll is all 1mm mounting tape. And you can get that 1mm foam mounting tape from Temu for about $6 for that roll. And that roll is 50 meters, which is almost 2,000 inches. It's a huge roll and it's like $6, but you got to get from China, from the Chinese sellers. You can't get it from the local sellers because the local sellers will hike up the price to like $30, $35. So if you want to get it for the $6 price, you got to get it directly from China, but it's a great way to get that. And I like to put embellishments on the inside of my cards. So I'm looking at this one, and this one you can't really see too terribly well unless you enlarge the picture, but it's got bees on it, but they're not full bees. It's like half of it's bee butts and the other half of it's bee heads, and I didn't really like that. So I went with this one instead because this is a coordinating piece that goes with the outline of the bees on the front of the card. So I thought this one would be really cool. So I'm just going to put it down in there. Oh, I lost my train of thought for a second. I'm so sorry. I totally lost my train of thought. Blah, blah. Now I can't even talk. I just totally lost my train of thought for a second. Anyway, so what I do with my cards, once I've got them done, is I put whatever embellishment I'm going to put on the inside, because I like to have something on the inside of my cards. And then I also put a sentiment in there, but I don't just stamp the sentiment to the inside of the card. I actually put the sentiment on another piece of cardstock, and then put that piece of cardstock, use the runner tape or double-sided tape to put it down inside the card. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting that thing so I can put the sentiment down. And I'm using in this card, oh my gosh, it is one of my absolute favorite sentiments of any of the sentiment stamps that I have. I absolutely love this one. And what it says is, may your day be as amazing as you are. Or I hope your day is as amazing as you are. I can't see it in front of me, so I don't remember exactly what it says. But I absolutely love that particular sentiment stamp for the inside of cards. It's absolutely wonderful. This paper cutter, this paper trimmer that I'm using, I found in one of the Tampa stores, one of the Tampa Ollies, and I found it for $1. And I don't remember which Tampa Ollies it was, but it was, if you want to see, I seriously doubt they have any left in stock, but if you go back to my videos of about 6 weeks ago, 6 weeks to maybe a month ago, when I talk about the Tampa stores like Clearwater and those stores, one of those stores is where I got this paper trimmer, and it was only $1. And that was an incredibly good price. I do know that for a while the St. Petersburg store had them, but they were $5 $5, which is still an excellent price. This is a really nice paper trimmer. I'm not using it right because I have the scoring blade in the way with my cutting blade. I should have put the scoring blade on the other end, but I'll fix that later. I tried fixing it today and I got frustrated with it, so I figured that was a tomorrow job or maybe a Thursday job. So speaking of Thursday, I am going to try to go into another Ollie's on Thursday, so do another Ollie's shop with me. I don't know if my spoons are going to let me do that. Like I said, I do suffer from severe, mental health issues from the trauma and everything because it's been chronic trauma almost my entire life. So I just want you to know I am going to try. I'm trying very hard to keep Ollie's from becoming not safe. There are very few, in fact, there are 2 stores that I can go into that my brain will let me go into without having an anxiety attack or worse, a panic attack. And those are Aldi on Thursdays. And I can only go to that grocery store on Thursday. My brain won't let me go in any other day. I even made a suggestion of going on Sunday, and my husband said, nah, this is really not a good idea. And we drove to the store anyway, and there were people there, and there were so many people there, and it was so not a good idea. So that was it. We were done. Came back home. So I can go to Aldi on Thursdays, and for some reason my brain has labeled Ollie's as safe, but I can't go into Ollie's at any given point in time right now because of the holiday shopping. It would overwhelm me and I wouldn't be able to do it anymore. And if I do end up having an anxiety attack or a panic attack in Ollie's, then I will lose that. And see, this is what I was doing with those little embellishments, those little cutouts that came from that stamp. These are all the things that came from that cutting stamp. So absolutely everything was usable. And here's the finished card. Look how beautiful it is, complete with the sentiment and everything. I love this card. It is so pretty with that beautiful reflective thing. And there I am packaging it up. And what I do is I take second generation of the inside stamp and I make it another stamp. I put it on a piece of paper and I put that inside the card, as that is the inside sentiment. So the first generation stamp is the one that makes the sentiment for the inside of the card. The second generation stamp is the one that puts it on just a scrap piece of paper so that I can put it in the card sleeve so that people know what the other one says. And I'm going to cut this out again. I'm going to use the same basic idea, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to use a different paper behind these, and I'm going to use a different size card. That first one that I made was a 5x7 card. This one is going to be an A2 card, which is 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches. So that's what this one's going to end up being. And this is honestly the card that I kept messing up. I made so many mistakes trying to make this card. I just kept going, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that either. It was just so silly, the number of times that I went, oops, and had to change my idea on this card. But it ended up looking really amazing. So, keep going with the mistakes. One of my favorite quotes, one of my absolute favorite quotes is, creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. So just keep going. So I've got this idea. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to put this other kind of paper behind it. So I've got that paper to put behind it. And again, I want to trim off the edge because it's too wide on one side, because the way the cutting die lines up with the little flowers, it makes one edge narrower than the other one. So I want to cut off the thicker edge. And when I go to cut off the thicker edge, I make a mistake. So here I am realizing that I have to cut off something because it's the exact same size as the card base, and I don't like my cards to do that. So I'm going to cut it smaller. I actually decided I was going to make it smaller, and then I cut that up, and I cut it right to the edge. I cut it right to the edge of the hexagon, so there's a little gap there. I went, well, you know what? I did it once. I'll do it twice. I'll do it to both sides. So I did. So it's literally all the way to the edge of the hexagon, which is not at all what I wanted to do, but it still looks okay. And so I'm pulling off all the little tapes to put down. And I do this upside down because to me it's easier to line it up when I'm doing this. And I know I'm going to end up cutting off part of the excess because I know that purple sheet is too long. So I carefully cut it off because I have many, many, many times, oh my gosh, I can't even count the number of times that I have accidentally cut something that I wanted to keep with the scissors. So here I am cutting off the little extra pieces so it's not so edge to edge, so that there's a little bit of gap between the purple and the hexagons. And now I'm trying to find the piece that lines up with the bottom, because I had this cool idea that I was going to line it up with the bottom so that there was this gap, so that you've got this beautiful blue one at the top, and I'm going to put it up on foam tape. Oh, nope, I take that back. I did not put this one up on foam tape. Oh, that's right. I put the hexagons up on foam tape. So this piece I'm lining up so that the flowers are together. You know, if you push the paper backed up with the other flowers, they would be together. And I put this one straight down on the paper. And now I'm going to put the sentiment raised up on a piece of 1mm foam tape on top of that. So the hexagons are raised up in the back, but they're flush with the card front in the are with the card base in the front. And it's just a really cool way that this ended up being. And so I've made the little insert card for it. And I think I messed this one up too. So I took it out. I messed it up. I put down blue. I put down a different ink color on it that I didn't want. And then I changed ink colors, but I didn't clean up my little ink pad there, my little green spot. So I ended up putting the wrong color on the card with the new ink color. And it was so silly. Oh, it was so bad. Like I said, the card that I kept messing up on. That's my second sentiment stamp right there. And then I had this idea, why would I want to put it up on white? Why would I want to put the sentiment on white paper when I could put it on this beautiful purple paper that's right there? The first time I stamped it out was a test to see if it actually worked, and it did. And I didn't stamp it out correctly because I was just testing, so I did another one so I could do this, and it looks so cool. That's me flapping it around because the ink that I'm using, that ink came from Temu, and it says oily, quick drying ink. And it really is oily, and it's not as quick drying as they say it is. So I flap it around a little bit so I can get it to dry. And then I put it up on that foam tape, and I'm going to put it on the card. And it looks so cool. I've messed up on this card like 6 times already, and it still ends up looking absolutely fabulous. So it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. It matters whether or not you learn from them and whether or not you go on. And I keep going, you know, I keep right on going, because to make it a little bit more meaningful a statement, where there's life, there's hope. And life can be messy, and all the time people are making mistakes. But it's not so much whether or not you make a mistake, it's whether or not you learn from it. And that's really what I'm doing with this YouTube channel. I'm learning a lot. Oh, has Mommy been crafting too long? Is it time for Mommy to stop crafting? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Booter Booter? Say, Mommy, it's time for you to stop. It's time for you to spend time with your Binkle Bears. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Is that what Mommy's Bear is saying? Mommy's Bear is saying, it's time for you to stop and play with Binkle Bears. I have one more quick thing left to do, baby. Good. Yes, I do, baby puds. Yes, one more quick thing. And then Mommy will stop and play with Binkle Bears. Mommy will clean up after she plays with Binkle Bears. Yeah, but you have to go butsky-upsky right now. I know you don't want to go into your bed, but you got to. There you go. Let me finish up this one last thing, and then Mommy will be done, and then Mommy will go play with Binkle Bears. Yes, because Mommy loves the Binkle Bears. Yes, Mommy loves. And speaking of mistakes, I am trying the brand new YouTube Create app that they have put out to do the editing, and I have to say that I'm going to have a learning curve with it, but I like it a lot. It is going to make my ability to edit and put up videos so much faster. Sounds like niblets in here too. So if you have the opportunity to download it, if you are a creator, download the YouTube Create app. And it came up to me. They showed it to me in my YouTube studio. And so I downloaded it, and it is really cool. I have to say that it doesn't have as many things as some of the other editors that I've used, because I've used 2 different editors. I used the TikTok editor that had less, and Video Leap, which had more. Used this one because it's brand new, and when I downloaded it, there were only 2 reviews on it, so I'm like one of the first people to download it. But amazing, absolutely amazing video editor. I'm gonna have to take my learning curve and get better and better with it, but boy, do I like this video. So there's the second of the 2 cards all finished and done. Little Miss Brucey is up here with us saying hello, and she's just a cute little thing. And I don't know, if you didn't see it, you got to go back. Baby Bear put his paw, Baby Bear's up on his raised bed, and he put his paw down on Brucey's back, because Baby Bear is very protective of his time with Mommy. And when it's crafting time and he's in his bed, it's his time. It's not Brucey's time. It's Baby Bear time. So you can still see his paw hanging over right there, just on the left-hand side. It's so cute. They are getting along much better now, and I'm really pleased that they are. And Brucey is just the sweetest little girl. She really is, except she spends a lot of time beating up her brother. But there's the second of the 2 cards that I made, and there's the first of the 2 cards that I made. Now, the first card has more glitter on it. The second card doesn't really have anything shiny on it, but I love the different depths of it. And at this point, we're at the end of the video, so cheers and happy